Hey, what if I told you the secret to staying one step ahead of the whole darn world is something you probably ain't even noticed? I'm serious. It ain't about being some kind of genius or schmoozing everyone, and it definitely ain't about yelling the loudest. Nah, the real juice is in something these Sigma INFJs do without even trying. Something most people just can't stand. Intrigued? Let's get into it. All right, so first up, we've got mastering emotional detachment.
Let me tell you, most folks, they just don't get Sigma INFJs, especially this whole emotional detachment thing. Sounds kind of cold, right? Maybe even a little heartless, but here's the kicker. It's actually one of their biggest strengths. See, while we're all busy getting caught up in our feelings, those knee-jerk reactions, the heat of the moment, the Sigma INFJs, they figured out how to take a step back, observe from a distance, like they're watching a sitcom. And get this, that emotional distance, it lets them make decisions based on, clarity, not just impulse. So picture this. You're smack dab in the middle of some high-pressure garbage, right? And everyone's losing their minds, letting their feelings call the shots. But not your favorite Sigma INFJ, no way. They're cool as a cucumber, totally unfazed. They ain't gonna let no emotional garbage cloud their brain. Nah, they're leaning into the logic, processing what's really going on underneath all the drama. They get that feelings are here today, gone tomorrow, and if you want to make some real decisions, you got to ditch the feels and stick to the facts. But don't get me wrong, it ain't like they don't care. These Sigma INFJs, they feel things hard, but they know how to keep it in check. It's like having a superpower, seeing the world without getting all tangled up in it. And that's why they're always one step ahead, They see what everyone else misses, just because they ain't trapped by all the noise in their head.
All right, so next up, we got the silent observer effect. Now, here's a little something about these Sigma INFJs that might just get you. They ain't the loudest folks in the joint, but they're usually the ones picking up on everything. While everyone else is busy flapping their gums and trying to get their 2 cents in, these Sigma INFJs, they just hang back and watch. It ain't because they're antisocial or anything, it's because they're taking it all in. Think about it for a minute. How often do you get caught up in yakking? Just reacting to what people are saying without really seeing what's going on? Well, these Sigma INFJs, they don't fall for that. They're watching how people move, listening to how they say things, and catching those little changes in how people act that most folks miss. They're pros at reading the room, and that's where they get ahead. By keeping their trap shut, see, they're getting the inside scoop on everything. They're picking up on the stuff nobody says out loud, the real reasons people do things, the arguments nobody's making. While everyone else is busy listening to the chit-chat, these Sigma INFJs are reading the room. This way, they see everything without saying a word, which gives them a way better view than anyone else. And because of this, they can practically see the future, predicting how people will act before they even think about it. That's how these Sigma INFJs are always one step ahead. They've already figured it all out while everyone else was busy yapping. Thirdly, anticipating the unspoken. Now, here's where things get a little, mind-blowing. Sigma INFJs, they can practically feel what you're thinking, what you're feeling, even when those thoughts and emotions, they ain't never spoken. It's like they got this sixth sense, right? Picks up on all these unspoken cues, making them almost psychic when it comes to understanding others. You probably noticed how these Sigma INFJs, they seem to know exactly what you're going to say, what you need before you even say it. It's because they're masters at reading these subtle, non-verbal signals. A change in your posture, a slight shift in your eyes, or a barely perceptible change in your tone. All this stuff, it gives Sigma INFJs clues that most people, they miss it. These cues, they're like a secret code they instinctively understand, allowing them to predict your thoughts, your reactions. But here's the kicker, folks, and believe me, it's a doozy. It ain't just about reading emotions in the here and now. These Sigma INFJs, they're like psychic comedians, anticipating how you'll feel or react before the joke even lands. They got this sense, see? They know when someone's holding back, when the tension's building like a bad punchline, or when someone's hiding something juicier than my last divorce settlement. This deep intuitive thing, it lets them plan their moves with accuracy that'd make Vegas jealous. So in social situations, while everyone else is still trying to figure out the setup, these Sigma INFJs are already ahead because they're tuned into the undercurrents like they're listening to a secret track. And this whole sense what's unspoken thing, that's why they're always ahead of the curve. They see the punchline before anyone else even knows there's a joke. All right, so fourth on the list, the power of the lone wolf strategy. Sigma INFJs, yeah, they're like the ultimate lone wolves. They actually thrive in solitude, and it's in their alone time that their true power, yeah, that shines. While most people, they need like constant social interaction to feel validated. Sigma INFJs, now they choose isolation, not because they fear people, but because it unlocks their creativity and sharpens their strategic thinking. When Sigma INFJs work alone, they tap into a state of focused, uninterrupted flow. This is when their minds are free to wander and innovate, unfettered by distractions or the influence of others. And here's the thing. While the world may see them as, detached or distant, it's in these quiet moments that they are planning, reflecting, and refining their next moves. Their solitary time is like a mental gym, where they sharpen their instincts and strategy without interference. So, it's during these little moments of peace and quiet that we Sigma INFJs can actually, start thinking outside the box, unbound by what society expects or the constant yap of others' opinions. We ain't trying to schmooze anyone or blindly follow the herd. We're paving our own damn road. And that independence, that's where our knack for staying ahead comes from. We don't need a GPS or anyone's permission. Instead, we listen to our own gut feeling and trust our intuition, which lets us make the kind of bold moves that would make others lose sleep. While everyone else is scrambling to catch up, the Sigma INFJ is already like 5 steps ahead, simply because we've been plotting in solitude. This ability to work solo not only gives us some clarity, but also lets us navigate this crazy thing called life on our own terms. Something that really sets us apart and keeps us consistently ahead of the curve. Fifthly, they don't chase, they attract. Now, this one might sound a little controversial, I'll grant you that. But let's talk about the fact that Sigma INFJs, they don't chase. Nah, they attract. It's true, see? While others are scrambling, hustling, networking, and begging for attention, Sigma INFJs are over here doing their thing with zero pressure. They don't got to beg for anyone's approval or chase people to get what they want. Why? Because people are drawn to them naturally, you see? This ain't about manipulation or some kind of power game. It's about being so comfortable in your own skin that you don't have to go out looking for validation. People sense that confidence, that self-sufficiency, and they're attracted to it. It's magnetic, I tell you. And you know what's even crazier? The more Sigma INFJs lean into their individuality, the more people start to notice. They stop chasing after the world's approval, and instead, the world starts chasing them. It's like they're operating on a different frequency, one that others are just naturally tuned into. But get this, here's the real mind trip. It's all about like energy, right? So while all the other suckers are out there hustling, trying to elbow their way to the top, these Sigma INFJs are busy conjuring up something you can't even see. An aura that screams, I'm not here to play the game. I'm here to run the whole damn show. And because of this, they don't need to sweat it for a seat at the table. They just waltz in, set up their own table, and suddenly everyone's lining up to join them. I mean, these guys are walking, talking proof that the minute you ditch the chase and just start being totally unapologetically you, everything you need just kind of falls into your lap. And the kicker? It's practically no effort. They don't even got to try. And that, my friend, is how Sigma INFJs stay like 10 steps ahead without even breaking a sweat. So let me ask you something. How often do you catch yourself chasing after a pat on the back? What if you just started drawing all that jazz right to you instead? Sixthly, the underdog mentality. All right, so let's get into something that really makes these Sigma INFJs stand out, their underdog mentality. And trust me, they embrace it like totally. See, these Sigma INFJs, they don't need the freaking spotlight. They don't need to be the loudest mouth in the room or the one getting all the freaking praise. In fact, they actually prefer to fly under the radar, which gives them the perfect advantage. See? Why? Because being underestimated is one of the most powerful things a person can experience, you know? While everyone's distracted by their own crap, trying to one-up each other or scramble for attention, Sigma INFJs are just quietly doing their thing, building their vision and honing their skills. People don't expect much from them. After all, they're not the type to announce every move or draw attention. And that's exactly why they always come out on top. When the time's right, they show up, they deliver, and they blow everyone's expectations away. But here's the thing, see, being underestimated, that's gold, baby. Sigma INFJs, they're playing 3-dimensional chess with that. While everyone else is busy crying about their shortcomings, these guys are scheming in the dark. Nobody's watching. Which means they can waltz right in, make the big moves, and twist the game in ways nobody expects. It's like this. The world's looking at them, thinking, oh, they're just the quiet ones. Meanwhile, they're sharpening their knives, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. It's chess, not checkers, capiche? They don't move till it's showtime, and when it is, fug-da-da-boot it. So next time you're feeling like the runt of the litter, remember this. Underdogs, they clean up. It's not about screaming at the top of your lungs. It's about waiting for the curtain to rise. Let me ask you something. Ever been underestimated? And how'd you flip that on its head? Let's bat this around a little.
All right. So, seventhly, the secret to their confidence. Okay. Let's rap about something that really sets Sigma INFJs apart. Their rock solid confidence. But here's the kicker. It's not the kind of loud, in-your-face confidence you might be used to seeing. Nah, theirs is quiet, unshakable, and rooted in something way deeper. Self-awareness. They're so damn sure of who they are that they don't need to broadcast it to the world. They don't need to be the center of attention to feel valuable. And that's what makes them so magnetic, you know? Ever meet someone who doesn't need to prove nothing to anyone? They walk into a room and you just feel their presence. It's not because they're trying to impress anyone. It's because they know their worth without needing to say a damn word. Sigma INFJs have cracked the code on confidence, and it's all about staying true to themselves. They're not chasing validation. They don't need the applause. They're just being themselves, fully and unapologetically. And people respect that. It's almost like their calm, quiet confidence demands respect without asking for it. But get this. Here's the kind of shrinky insight that really flips the whole act. This confidence thing, it's catchier than the flu, see? When these Sigma INFJs waltz into a room, their vibe screams, I ain't sweating your opinion. And that, pal, that's what makes me legit. They're calling the shots. And while everyone else is breaking their backs trying to impress, Mr. Sigma INFJ is just doing stuff. Actions, right? They're louder than any of that blah blah. So, let me throw this at you. How often you find yourself jumping through hoops to prove you're worth something to someone else? Picture this. Instead, you just owned your own weirdness. No explanations, no sorry about that. What kind of freedom you think that buys you? Chew on that for a minute, huh? Let me know what you think below.
Eighthly, they see potential, not limits. All right, let's get to something that really makes Sigma INFJs different from everybody else. They see potential, not limits. And believe me, that's huge. While everyone else is focused on problems, obstacles, and what's impossible, these Sigma INFJs are looking at the possibilities. They don't see the limitations that trap other folks. They see the potential for growth hidden in every challenge. Think about it. How many times have you heard someone say, that can't be done? How often do you find yourself thinking that way? Sigma INFJs, they don't stop at the no. They look at something and think, how can I make this work? Or, what's the bigger picture here? It's like they're playing 3D chess while everyone else is stuck on a 2D board. This mindset lets them turn the toughest situations into opportunities for growth. They see problems not as roadblocks, but as puzzles waiting to be solved. But get this. See, this ain't just about seeing the forest for the trees, you know? It's about seeing the potential in people too. They ain't judging nobody on a first impression or some dumb surface-level garbage. Nah, they look past all that dreck and see what someone could be, not just the schlub they're looking at right now. Gives them a leg up to build real relationships and make a spot where other stiffs can actually do something. And get this, there's a whole head shrink thing going on here. Seeing what could be instead of what can't be gives these Sigma INFJs a sense of, agency. Like they're in charge of their own lives, their own little worlds. When you see the world as one big open mic night, you ain't exactly scared, are you? You ain't waiting for the laugh track, you write your own jokes. And that's how they kill, night after night. Always building, always growing, always moving on up. So I'm asking you, when's the last time you looked at some problem or some person and saw something good instead of just a brick wall? How'd things shake out if you started thinking that way? Let's bat it around in the comments, huh? Right. So ninthly, their quiet leadership. Let me tell you, we're going to dive into something that's going to surprise you about these Sigma INFJs, their quiet leadership. So while everyone's out there screaming, demanding attention, trying to be the loudest voice in the room, these Sigma INFJs, they lead in a way that's almost silent. They don't got to shout to be heard. They don't need any flashy speeches or grand gestures. Their leadership, quiet, subtle, but powerful. And here's the secret. See, it's the silence that speaks the loudest. Now, what makes these Sigma INFJs unique as leaders is they don't crave the spotlight. They don't need to be the center of attention to make things happen. Instead, their leadership comes from action, not words. They set the example by living according to their values, staying true to their principles, doing what's right, even when no one's watching. And that's what makes people follow them. So, psychologically, this whole leadership thing, it taps into something real deep in our human nature, see? Respect. People, they follow the leaders who ain't looking for a pat on the back, who don't need to, inflate their egos to feel like they're worth something. When you're good with who you are, when your actions, they actually match what you're saying, you just naturally inspire trust. And that's the heart of the Sigma INFJ's leadership style. They don't go around demanding respect, they earn it, quietly, like clockwork. But here's the kicker. Because they ain't out there chasing the spotlight, Sigma INFJs, they often lead from the back. They motivate, guide, influence in ways that don't always make the 6 o'clock news. Yet, when all is said and done, they're the ones who've quietly built something that actually matters. They're the ones who've shaped other folks' paths without ever needing to say a dang word. So, let me ask you something. You think leadership has to be loud to be worth a damn? Or is the most powerful leadership the kind that lets actions do all the talking? Drop your 2 cents in the comments below and let's hash out how quiet leadership might just be the next big thing. All right, that's enough out of me. Now I want to hear from you. Can you think of a time when you were ahead of the curve without even trying? What's the one thing you think gives you Sigma INFJs your edge? Toss your thoughts in the comments, would ya? And hey, if you like this thing, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more insights into the mysterious world of Sigma INFJs. See ya!